Hello everyone, today is September 13, 2018. I am Caleb, and I'm joined today by my good friend Laura. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Excited about the game this weekend.
Me too.
So we're going to be talking about Liverpool Tottenham. But before we talk about that, you're a bit of a online celebrity, aren't you?
I guess you could say that I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, back when Liverpool almost won the Champions League, we would have if it weren't for Sergio Ramos's karate antics. I recorded Ale, Ale, Ale. I played piano and I filmed myself and I uploaded it to YouTube, and it got quite a following.
How many views did it get?
I think right now it's at about 215,000 views.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was quite a surprise. I got a lot of proposals. I got a lot of people saying interesting things like
marriage proposals?
marriage proposals.
Okay.
It wasn't just, do you have a boyfriend? It was, I want to marry you. Will you marry me? And then one person said, I have never wanted to be a set of teeth so badly. So a lot of interesting, but almost always flattering comments on that video.
Awesome.
Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll see there's a new YouTube comment and it'll be like, you're the worst person in the entire world. But those are very few and far between.
Must be United fans.
Of course. They can't keep their mouths shut, can they?
No, they can't. They can't.
They search for Liverpool things online just so they can comment badly because they have nothing else to do.
Right. I used to get that when I was in undergrad. There was this Chelsea fan, and he would search for me. We would be completely opposite sides of the parking lot. He would see me, park his car, get out. I'm not making this up. And get out of his car, follow me, and be like, ha 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 ha. I was like, how bored are you? How sad are you with your life? But
he's a Chelsea fan. They're always miserable. Top of the table, middle of the table, bottom of the table. They're always crying about something, aren't they?
Yeah, this is true. So speaking of the Champions League, tell me about your little roller coaster of emotions. How was it following Liverpool to the final? Because we got eliminated by Juventus, after having an advantage over them. We just kind of pooped the bed. But with you guys,
it was one of the most dramatic experiences of my life watching soccer, because when we went into the Champions League, we almost weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
We had to fight tooth and nail just to get a spot, beat Hoffenheim, and then we could actually play. And then no one expected us to do well, except for Liverpool fans, because we say we always play really good continental football. And so when we played, it was always nerve-wracking. We always kind of went in expecting to lose, and we always told each other, well, it's been a good run. Even before we entered the pub, we were like, well, it's been a good run, and we won't all collapse and die if we lose this game. But we just kept going and fighting, and not just getting by. We were winning by pretty big margins, especially against Roma. And so when we got to that final game, I just remember crying, screaming. The entire pub was yelling. It had this sort of electricity that I've never felt before. And then watching the final, I had a bunch of nightmares before it and dreams, just because I was so nervous about it. I couldn't believe that Liverpool had gotten so far, especially when people had really thought we weren't going to get anywhere. And playing Real Madrid, my arch enemy of a team, because I've always been a closet Barcelona fan.
what's your cat's name?
My cat's name is Messi.
That's not very closet.
Yeah, I guess that's not very closet. But I like Messi and I like the Argentine team. And so I followed Barcelona, and so playing against Real Madrid and watching a million El Clásicos, wasn't excited to play them with Liverpool. And when we lost, it was heartbreaking, not because Liverpool played poorly, but because it felt really unfair, especially with the way Sergio Ramos played. And I think the most agonizing part came a few months later during the Champions League draw this year, when Sergio Ramos won best defender.
Yeah.
And I was shocked because not only did they not penalize him for what they did, which was clearly a foul,
Right.
but they rewarded him.
Yeah, they honored him.
Which I think is shocking. It just was disgusting in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Would you say he's the dirtiest player in the world?
Well, I don't watch a lot of South American
Okay,
club.
you're right. He's the dirtiest player in Europe.
Yes, dirtiest player in Europe.
So I got to watch the final when I was abroad in my little room on the little TV they provided for me. When I saw the tackle, and I immediately said, that's a foul. Nothing happened. I won't repeat the words I used that day in case there are children listening. But I already hate Real Madrid for reasons that maybe our listeners already know. Like, they've, poached our team for far too long, and I feel like they're just bad people. They're just bad. I can't think of another word for it.
They're villains.
They're villains, and they like it. I remember when we played them back in our little run when we had Gareth Bale, and Peter Crouch got a red card. Marcelo and Pepe celebrated like they gave each other high fives, like it was that was the plan. We got them to get a red card, and now we're happy about that. It was just disgusting. Like you said,
they're unabashed villains.
Yeah.
They embrace that role. Like when Sergio Ramos pats Mohamed Salah on the back after he gets awarded the best defender of the year. Just they know it and they revel in it.
Yeah, like when I can imagine him like whispering in his ear, "I hope you never walk again."
Yeah,
Or
exactly,
something like that.
exactly.
Yeah, bad.
Like, good try, buddy. How's the arm?
Right.
Shaking his shoulder as he runs by.
Yeah, awful. But so, what pub were you guys at when you watched the final?
I do not remember the name of the pub.
It's over in Tampa?
It was over in Tampa. It wasn't the usual place that we go to, but it was packed. It was shoulder to shoulder red. It was like the Red Sea, comes to Tampa. But we had a live band that was singing traditional Liverpool songs. Me and my friend Jordan, who I believe has been on this podcast before.
Yeah.
Got on stage and got to sing Ale, 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 and everyone was jumping. I thought we were going to break the porch, because everyone was just jumping. There were smoke bombs going off. Everyone was screaming. It was definitely one of the best experiences of my life.
That's really awesome. Yeah. So, why Liverpool? I think I remember the story. Is it about the Beatles? You like the Beatles? They're from Liverpool?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't make that up.
You didn't make that up. But the thing about the Beatles being from Liverpool is that they never really declared a side if they were actually Liverpool fans or they were Everton fans. Mm-hmm. And if you go online, you'll find a bunch of people who have found hidden meanings in their lyrics, in their album covers, and things they've said that point to the fact that they may be Everton fans or they may be Liverpool fans. But no one knows. But it's silly. It's like Paul was wearing blue shoes when he went on stage in Liverpool or something, or the Cavern Club for one show. But it's really undetermined who they were for. So that maybe was not the most legitimate reason I could have picked Liverpool. But the other reason I picked Liverpool was that Pink Floyd has a song, I believe it's called Free, off their Metal album. And at the end of the song, you hear this chant. And when I first listened to it, I didn't know what it was, but I was just amazed at so many people singing the same song. And the whistle, like people are whistling in the audience, and it has this weird goes up in tone. And so I was like, I have to know what that is. I have to know what it is. And I found out it was recording at Anfield of You Never Walk Alone that they put in the album back in 1967 or whenever that album came out. And so I was like, okay, this is my team. Liverpool is my team. And then I found out that they're all from Cambridge and that they're not from Liverpool either. So the two bands that, guided me on this journey to Liverpool never were professed or Liverpool fans in
Right.
the first place. So
it's not like an Elton John thing. He's like, he is Watford.
no.
Or Adele. She's a Tottenham supporter.
Is Adele a Tottenham
Yeah.
supporter?
That's the only thing I know about her.
Well, she seems cool. Great voice. I mean, at least it's not someone like evil being a
Right.
Tottenham supporter.
Yeah.
Can't think of who would be an evil.
Well,
Tottenham supporter.
I saw a meme that was it was, I think, John Cena. I don't do wrestling, but I think John Cena wearing a Tottenham shirt, Pacquiao wearing a United shirt, and then Justin Bieber wearing a Chelsea shirt.
Oh, he would be a Chelsea fan.
So I just think that's kind of funny and fitting.
I think that's true. Justin Bieber looks like he was born in a Chelsea jersey, and he acts like it too.
Does he? I don't follow pop stuff.
Just rich and kind of pompous and too
Yeah.
big for his britches.
Right.
That's what Chelsea
It
is.
seems that way. Man, if Anthony were here, I'm sure he'd be
ecstatic.
You guys are teaming up on me. So, but this season, how do you feel? Undefeated so far.
I feel confident about this season. I think our front three have not really shown up yet, and so that makes me a little uncomfortable.
Well, I don't know. So how many goals does Mane have? 3?
I think it's 3. I think they have 7 in between Mane, Firmino.
It's only 4 games. That's a lot. What do you want from them?
Well, last year it seemed like we were getting 3 or 4 goals every single game,
That's true.
and yes, we were conceding a few, but I've almost gotten used to having a 3 or 4 goal buffer, and I haven't yet gotten used to our defense and keeper being the quality that they are. So when we're only up 1 goal or even 2 goals, it still feels like it's anyone's game until literally the last whistle blows. But we have kept clean sheets for 3 out of our last 4 games, and the last game, it was a Alisson error that gave way to it, but then he saved so many goals as well. You kind of have to forgive him pretty quickly. But I think that he's learned his lesson from that mistake.
Because I didn't watch the game before that, but I did see I saw a video of him chipping an attacker.
Oh, yeah.
And then I read the interview with Klopp where they're like, what do you think? He's like, oh, I didn't like that at all.
But then he said, I guess I have to get used to having a Brazilian keeper.
Yeah.
So at that time, he was resigned to accepting Alisson's playing style. But I think now, he probably got to talk in the locker room.
Yeah.
I think privately. I don't think that Klopp would have done it in front of the team. But
Right.
I think Alisson maybe went to Klopp's office and was like, I apologize. And then hopefully he went to the entire team and apologized and said, all of you guys showed up and I didn't today. And I'm sorry for that mistake I made.
Yeah.
It sounds like something he would do, and I think he should.
So you're more confident with your defense this season?
Oh, absolutely. They're completely different.
Aren't they the same players, though?
Well, Lovren's out with a stomach injury still. And
It's called being embarrassed at being so bad. That's what it is.
Yeah, but remember in his interviews, he says, I went to the Champions League final, now I'm in the World Cup final, and you guys always make fun of me. You can't not say that I am the best defender in the world. I think I used 2 negatives, but I think it came out right in the end.
Yeah. That's what he said. I didn't know he said that. So he said he's the best defender in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you think about it, I don't think he is.
No.
However, my opinion when I went to Anfield about Lovren changed. I always thought he was the worst defender in the world. I used to say you should put a popsicle in the ground or a popsicle stick in the ground, and that would be a better defender than Lovren. So at least maybe it would bounce off the popsicle stick, not immediately to the other team. But watching him, at the time it was December 2017. He was one of the biggest players, the tallest players on the field. And when he wasn't under pressure, he was really good at getting it out of the back and distributing it. Once he's under pressure, however, he's not awful, but he's not the best.
Right.
But regardless, I think we have been doing better since he hasn't been playing.
You think that's the reason? Or you just think the players have played together better? Or maybe they're more confident that they have a good keeper behind them?
I think it's a mixture of both of those things. I think having Alisson has definitely been helpful because there have been quite a few times where players have gotten through our defense and taken really good shots,
That's
but
true.
Alisson was there to stop it. But I think Van Dijk being back there has been really helpful. I think Gomez moving into the middle as opposed to playing the wing like he used to has been helpful, especially with that slide tackle save he got in the box 2 weeks ago, where it was like definitely going to go in, but he got there and like his little leg came up and saved the goal. And then, but I think I was reading that, I forgot what the exact lineup was when you guys beat us, Tottenham beat us 4-1. I think it would have been Matip, Lovren, Gomez on the side, and then Mourinho also on the side. But now we have Robertson, who I think is honestly one of the best wingers I've ever seen. Van Dijk in the middle, Gomez in the middle, and Trent Alexander-Arnold on the other wing. And I think despite being young, he's a great guy on the side. He does make mistakes still, but I think he learns from them pretty quickly.
Right.
And he has really good crossbar shots. If you guys have seen that video where it's almost from half field, he pounds a ball and it boop dinks a crossbar, I guess, in one of the games or like one of the little games that they were playing on the international break.
I didn't see that.
It wasn't during a game,
Right.
but it was like during practice.
Oh,
It was
okay, I
like,
gotcha. Like the crossbar game?
Yeah, but he got it from half field almost.
Wow, pretty amazing. So, a lot of people are saying it's Liverpool City this season for the title. How do you feel?
I agree, and I like that because I think that we can beat City.
I mean, obviously, you're the only team that beat them last season. And you didn't just beat them in the league, you beat them in the Champions League too. So you're out, I mean, yeah. But do you think you beat them twice, right?
Yes.
But they were still like 40 points ahead of everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But if you think about it, last season, Liverpool was still doing that thing where we lose against teams that are at the bottom of the table and we tie against teams that are in the middle of the table and we beat teams that are at the very top of the table. So now, playing Brighton, playing Leicester City, I think it's who we...
yeah, I don't remember.
Leicester...
Was it?
Brighton, Leicester, Crystal Palace.
You played Palace because that was one of those teams that you hadn't beaten in a while. You definitely played them. Definitely played Brighton. You beat Brighton 1-0, right? I think that was 1-0. I think it was Leicester. I don't remember the other one.
I know. I'm surprised my memory is so bad. But regardless, we aren't dropping points on those games like we were last season. So I think that we will be good contenders. Now, the thing that worries me the most is that people are actually saying that we could win and that we are contenders. And I think Liverpool performs the best when they're underdogs. So hopefully all of this confidence and all of this hope that people are putting in the team doesn't go to their heads and take them down.
What's the new guy you guys bought? Keita.
Yeah, he's been playing great in the midfield.
You like him?
Oh, yeah. The first time I saw him play, I was shocked. It was like every single time he got the ball, he was passing it to the right person at the right time. He was able to escape pressure. He was attacking people in the midfield and winning the ball from them, not just putting pressure on them. And I think he, to me, surprisingly, has really fit in well to the Liverpool squad and the style of play, which I don't think is easy for anyone coming into a team to seemingly mesh so well, so quickly.
Right. So, about this coming up game. I strongly feel we're going to get stomped. I really do. I don't know if you heard, Lloris and Dele Alli are out.
I heard that Lloris might be out.
Yeah. Apparently they're out. So, I think Lloris is a big loss. I like Michel Vorm. I think he's a good keeper. But what interests me the most is what we're going to do. Who is going to replace Dele Alli? I think Pochettino's going to go with Lamela because that's the safe bet. Because Lamela works hard and he plays good defense and he gets back. But what I would love is for him to put Lucas Moura on one wing and Son on the other wing and then just run at you guys. I don't think he does that. I think that's too bold. And I don't think that's Pochettino's style. I think he's going to go with the safe bet and play Lamela just like a 1-for-1, like a like-for-like switch. And play Lucas Moura or Son on one side, Eriksson, and then Lamela. But I would love to see both of those guys on the field at the same time because they're so direct. And I think that would be the first, I don't call it a real challenge to your defense, but...
I think that would be the only way you guys really get past us. I think if you do that, because Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold go so far forward. They're basically midfielders, and then some of the time they're forwards. And so if you had two fast guys like Moura and Son coming down right at us, I think that would force Klopp to change the formation, if anything. And if not, you would catch us so many times that we're all forward and you just have Van Dijk and Gomez to get through and Alisson. So I think that would be your best bet. And I think Pochettino is smart and he might actually do that.
Yeah.
It'd be a really interesting game and probably a high-scoring one for both teams.
Well, I like Son gets back defensively. He's not a very good tackler. Actually, he's a pretty lousy tackler. In fact, I think it was him that, and I'm using air quotes here, fouled Victor Moses in our FA Cup, or was it the League Cup final against Chelsea a few seasons ago, where Moses took a dive. His son was chasing him back, and he slid. He did a slide tackle in the box, and Moses went over.
Of course,
as they tend to do. Many replays showed that he wasn't touched at all. But they called the penalty kick, and of course they scored it. I think it was Diego Costa, I want to say, or maybe Hazard. That's how long ago it was. But so he does get back, but he's not a great defender. And I think Lucas Moura is not a great defender either. Whereas Lamela, he works harder than anyone on the team. And he's direct too, but he's not fast like them. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. I would like to see it because I think it would be exciting, but it's a huge gamble. Like huge reward, huge gamble. So it'll either pay off great and we'll do awesome if he does it, or it'll backfire and it won't work at all. But that's why I think he'll go with the safe pick.
But I don't think even if you put Lamela in that he would be able to stop our top three, whether he gets back or not. Yeah, he can put pressure on it, but your best bet is to score goals, not to defend them. While you can't let 1 million goals in, you're still probably going to have to concede a few. And I think your best bet is using Harry Kane and all the offensive power you have and just getting more goals than we do.
You think that's going to be high scoring?
If you go with the Moura Son formation. But with Lamela, I can see Harry Kane putting a few cheeky goals in, maybe off of a corner kick. But I don't see a bunch of goals off of free play for Tottenham. I think Liverpool will possess the ball more. I think it'll be played around the midfield a lot more. And we'll do our standard thing where we'll lull everyone to sleep and then pass it forward, and every single player in Liverpool will run up and rush the goal and put it in. And I think that's how the game will go. But if you go with your ideal formation, I think it would make it a much more interesting game. But I was telling you that I have had dreams about this game.
Right.
Where the first dream I had, Liverpool lost 3-0 to Tottenham. And then I woke up into another dream, went to a pub to watch the actual game, and Liverpool lost 4-1 to Tottenham. So I'm not completely certain that it will be such a easy win for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I think this game will decide the season for Liverpool.
Really? So early?
Yes, it'll Well, it'll decide the team's confidence because I think Tottenham is one of those teams, at least recently, where if you beat them, you have a good chance of winning the league. If you don't beat Tottenham, then you probably won't win the league. Because Tottenham is kind of like a canary in the coal mine where like they're always going to be in the top 6. And if you can't even make it past them, there's no way you're getting ahead. But if you can, that shows you can play with the best, you can work well under pressure. They're a good team. You can beat a good team. You're not going to just get points playing the teams at the bottom of the table.
Right.
So this is a really big weekend for Liverpool. I think it's even bigger than playing Man City or a team like that. This will, in my opinion, decide how we're going to play this season and where we're going to end up.
Well, I think for us it's even more important because we already dropped points to Watford 2 weeks ago. And I think if we drop points now, it's done. Like I know, like I said,
it's early.
It's early, but if you guys beat us, you guys would be. You're 3 points ahead now. You'd be 6 points ahead.
We can't be 3 points. It must be 2 points ahead. Oh, you lost, didn't you? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. I apologize. I thought it was a tie. I forgot.
No. We lost. It's one of those things. Like I was reading this article. Like the idea of being Spursy was supposedly gone with Pochettino. Like he came in and changed the mentality of the players, and we don't choke under pressure anymore. Except we do. You know, we play like finals against Chelsea, and we just can't. We had I want to say we were winning 1-0, 2-0 against Chelsea in one of those finals, and we ended up losing 4-2. It's one of those things, like, oh man, like, here it comes. Or the time we went to Stamford Bridge a few seasons ago, Eriksen scored the opening goal, like, yes, this is it. And then we lost that game too. Or the battle at the bridge, where we just lost our cool and like Moussa Dembele pulled a Mourinho and poked somebody in the eye. It's just it's those kinds of things. And then I think the last 2 games are just exactly that. We go to Old Trafford. We withstand the barrage in the first half. Because undoubtedly United were the better team. They took way more shots. None of them were on target because they're terrible. A better team would have at least put some on target. Our more confident team, we can say. They couldn't put a single shot on target. Like I think they had like 3 or 4 really good open shots that they just absolutely missed. And then we picked it up in the second half and just steamrolled them. I don't think 3-0 was a fair description of how the game went. I'll take it, obviously, going to Old Trafford. We haven't won at Old Trafford since like 2012 or something. But go to Old Trafford, beat them at their own game. You know, we soak in the pressure and then counterattack and beat. Is exactly what Mourinho likes. Beat them at their own game. And then go to Watford and lose. And it wasn't even like, oh, Watford played really well. Like, we were just bad. I think all of our goals this season have come from headers. From corner kicks and free kicks. Set pieces. All of them headers. So I'm kind of, and this is very unusual for us because I would like to say we have the best defenders in Europe. I think the combination of Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and Sanchez, it's hard to argue of a better any two of those 3. You put them together and forms like a really good pair. But if you put all 3 of them on the field, which is what I like when he does, he puts Vertonghen on the left, Sanchez in the middle, and Toby on the right, and then he plays his wingers, whomever he picks. I think that's a really solid defense. I think that's what he's going to go with against you guys because your front 3 is dangerous. We'll have a back 3. But how do you let those goals go in? Because that wasn't happening before. Like, those are really solid defenders, and they just let in headers. So I'm kind of. That's why I think we're not doing so hot. Even though we beat Manchester United and we had done really well the first couple of games against Fulham and I forgot the other team we played. Fulham, United, Watford, and the other team. Sorry, other team. But anyway, it just feels like I just don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about this game.
How many times do you feel good before a game?
Well, when we won, I felt good this season. I watched us in preseason in the International Champions Cup, and I thought we played really well. I was super excited to watch Lucas Moura because, he came in the January transfer window, and Tottenham's not known for their January transfer purchases. And in fact, I had this conversation with Anthony. If you look at the big signings of the last few years into the Premier League, none of them have come in January. Most January transfers end up being really flops. We were looking at all the Tottenham transfers for I looked at them from 2005 until now, and they've all been pretty much flops. And then we looked at Chelsea's January signings, and they've pretty much all been flops.
We got Van Dijk in the January signing window.
That's
though.
true.
Maybe this was a lucky January for Tottenham and Liverpool.
There's obviously always going to be one
an outlier.
Yeah, an outlier and a cluster of data, but for the most part, it just doesn't work out. So he didn't play very much last season, and at the danger of sounding like Arsene Wenger, he's kind of like a new signing. He didn't play at all last season, and he finally had a good preseason. He didn't go to the World Cup. For some reason, Brazil didn't pick him.
Brazil is weird with their picks for the World Cup. I do not know how they choose who's going to play and who's going to be with them. Just does not make sense to me. Well,
it ended up working in our favor, and he didn't go. He had a good preseason with the team, and he's been great. He's our top scorer right now, 3 goals in 4 games, and I love him. I don't think if Dele Alli is not injured, I don't think Son comes in and starts. That's how good Moura has been. I think Son's going to have to earn his starting place again, which is a great thing. It's a great thing. Competition between our attacking players, I think, is a good thing. But I don't remember where I was going with that. Right, he's a January transfer, so he finally got a good preseason, and now he's doing well. So I was really confident coming into this season, actually. Toby Alderweireld stayed. He didn't go.
Where was he supposed to go?
He was rumored to go to Barcelona, Madrid, or United. But I think there was talk of him going to United in exchange for Anthony Martial. There's no way we were going to sell our best defender to a rival for nothing. Exactly. I don't care how much money you're going to give us. That's not the point, right? And I think Daniel Levy, the chairman, has had enough dealings with Manchester United. I want to say a few seasons ago or a while ago, he said he's not doing business with them anymore. I think it was the whole. Maybe I'm making this up, and this never happened. But when we sold Dimitar Berbatov to them, he something bad happened in the transaction. He's like, I don't like doing business with them, and I don't think we've sold them anyone else since then. I think that was the last player we sold. Of course, they were rumored. They were linked with Gareth Bale when he was good. They were linked with Luka Modric when he was good. They've been linked with Hugo Lloris because De Gea was going to Barcelona or Madrid, and then they were gonna. They think we're still their feeder club.
Right.
If we're a feeder club to anyone, it's Madrid. And I'm not saying that with pride or anything, but point being, they wanted because their defenders are Phil Jones, and Phil Jones is a blockhead.
Very fair. Very fair.
So they wanted a defender because they don't have any, and we're not going to sell to them. So we're like, all right, we'll do an exchange: cash plus Martial in exchange for Alderweireld. And they're like, no. Like, oh, okay. Well, you're going to have to, play ball here. You can't take one of our best players and then not give us anything in return except money. We need something. But that never went through. So he's supposed to go there. And then there was rumors of Barcelona and Madrid. But he ended up staying. And I've read some interviews with him. I don't know if he's just, repeating the party line or the company line. He's like, I'm happy here. I never wanted to leave, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what the fans want to hear.
Yeah, that's what I would want to hear. I don't want to know that one of my teammates as being disloyal.
Right.
That's the word.
Right. So I was excited that he stayed. I was excited that Lucas Moura was getting a proper preseason. And then Lamela didn't go to the World Cup, so he had a good preseason. Harry Kane won the Golden Boot, so presumably he was coming in confident. So I was really confident at the start of the season. We started off 3-0, and when we played Watford, I genuinely thought Watford is a nobody team. Yeah, obviously that came back to bite me in the butt. But we hadn't lost to them since the 80s. Did you know that?
No,
we had
I
not
did
lost
not
to
know
Watford
that.
since the 80s. This is the first time since I think 86 that we lost to them.
In my opinion, it was just overconfidence with you guys going in. You thought they were a nobody team that you were going to take down from their number 2 in the league spot.
Right.
They're undefeated.
In fact, I was at the pub. I was at Horse and Jockey watching the game, and I was just thinking like, oh, if we beat them by 3 goals, we'll jump Liverpool.
Yeah, you texted me that. Oh, we only have to beat Watford by 3 goals in order to jump you guys in the league.
That's how confident I was that we were gonna. This is just another stepping stone.
Took a lot for me not to screenshot that and send it to you.
Yep. I did that. So now, because I thought Liverpool's gonna be the first real test, and so now I'm very unconfident. Now I'm very worried.
See, but I'm worried because now more than ever you guys are going to want to bounce back. You've tasted defeat and you're going to put everything in this Liverpool game in order to forget it. Because if you beat Liverpool, no one will remember the Watford game.
True.
If you lose against Liverpool, Watford will be seen as a slow trek into the pits of defeat for Tottenham.
Right. That's very poetic.
Thank you.
Right. So I think it's going to be one of those things where if we beat you, everyone's going to be like, everything's fine. But if we lose, everyone's going to be like, oh, they should have bought somebody over the summer.
Yeah, the nasty words will start going.
Yeah.
But I think that Tottenham still has a good team this season. I think win or lose on Saturday, you guys will still have a good team. I mean, you can lose a couple games and still win the league, which you won't because Liverpool is going to.
Right.
But I don't think it's the end of the world losing against Watford the 4th game of the season.
Right. Do you think Watford's the real deal? Do you think they're a Leicester? Or do you think they're eventually going to crash back down?
I have not watched Watford play, I don't think yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't because I couldn't have. So I am not sure. But beating Tottenham is a big deal. But then again, we've had teams beat Liverpool that were way worse and didn't go on to win the Premier League. So I think we'll know maybe in 3 or 4 games if Watford's the real deal. But I do not think that with such powerful teams like Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, that Watford will win the league. I think Leicester City winning the league happened right after Chelsea fell apart. Manchester City wasn't the powerhouse that it is now. United was playing awful. Liverpool was in a funk. Tottenham, I have no idea what you guys were doing.
Giving the title away.
Being Spursy. And so I just don't think that the league's in a place where a team like Watford will rise to the top. And everyone is on guard for another Leicester City.
Right.
No one saw them as even a threat until probably the last 2 games of the season when they won the title. So I don't think that's what's going to happen with Watford.
Right. You think? But do you even think that they'll be a top 4, top 5 contender, or not even that?
Like I said, I haven't seen them play, but if they are good, I can see them being in the top half of the table. I don't know that they can.
Well, I can tell you this. The first half, they weren't very good. We controlled the game, but we were just going side to side. We ended up scoring on an own goal because finally somebody got, forward and made a good cross, and it just bounced around and went in. But the first half, they were it seemed like exactly what it was going to be. It seemed an inevitability that we were going to score. Just a matter of time, be patient, all that stuff. Second half, after we scored and they you know, they picked it up, they looked really good. They actually looked. I was like, wow, we need another goal because they're gonna score, and sure enough, they did. So I don't know. We've had a really good defense over the last few years, and I mean we've only let in 3 goals so far, but it's something we got to work on. And against you guys, that's why I'm worried because you guys score goals.
Yeah, that will be your biggest offensive challenge. However, like I said, I don't think our offense has really shown up yet. I'm hoping that we're still warming up. So hopefully, I just think it's hard having Salah, Mane, and Firmino to defend against the top 3 like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully we start showing up and waking up and getting more goals. But maybe it's not how we're going to play this season.
I mean, freaking Arsenal back like a decade ago won the league by winning 1-0 pretty much all the time. There was even a chant like 1-0 to the Arsenal, the boring Arsenal. But, I mean, they won the title. So, I mean, does it matter? That's what Mourinho's known for. He's boring, but he wins.
Yeah, but I don't want to support a team that plays like Mourinho. Liverpool is exciting. They come back and they win. They're underdogs. They fight like tooth and nail for every single win.
So you'd rather be exciting and like fall short?
Absolutely. I'd rather be a Liverpool fan no matter what, actually.
Right.
But if Mourinho took over Liverpool, it would be hard to stomach.
That would be.
I don't think it would ever happen. But then I wouldn't think that United would have a manager like him either.
They're desperate to win. They're nobody anymore since Alex Ferguson left. You know, they haven't.
So they made a deal with the devil.
Well, I don't know. I feel like okay, so because I was looking at stuff, like the rise and fall of empires, if you will. Mm-hmm. They had won stuff, you know, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, but they weren't like the team that we all know now. They hired this guy. He's a nobody. He's a Scottish guy that nobody knows. His first couple of seasons aren't very good. And then the season where they became really good, he lost his first 2 games, and they were on the verge of firing him. They gave him one more chance. He won that game, and he went on to win the league that season. And then Manchester United became this thing that they weren't before. And then from the moment the Premier League was created until now, they've obviously won the most titles by a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. Now that he's gone, they're nobodies again. Well, I want to say nobodies.
Yeah, everyone still knows who United is.
Right.
They're probably the most famous, at least here in America.
Well, I would say that they're a big brand, but they're no longer a big team. Like, they haven't been in the their only reason they're Champions League is because they won their Europa League last season. Then they finished second. Now they're in it again. But I mean, if you look at the moment he left, I mean, they were finishing outside the top 4.
Yeah.
So, and I think, and it was a lot of the same players Sir Alex Ferguson won his last title with. So I think it was him. Like, he worked some kind of magic with. Because I think the team that they have now, like some of the players they have now, are better than the team that he won with. Like,
I agree.
Like freaking Paul Pogba, considered one of the best midfielders in the world right now, and he looks like a bum.
Yeah.
Playing for Mourinho because I
impotent.
Yeah. Speaking of Paul Pogba, do you think he was good for France?
I think he played decently for France.
Yeah.
And which was surprising to me because watching him play for United is like watching a wet sock flop around on a dock in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
But watching him play, but maybe playing with Mbappe, it's kind of hard. Like, France had a really strong team this year.
Did.
So maybe it's easier to play when you're surrounded by like-minded people who play your style of soccer. But he looks horrible for United, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I know you. There came a point where you were totally against France.
Oh, I still am totally against France.
Yeah, but I mean, you weren't. It was the moment Mbappe wasted time. Like, who was it against?
Oh, I forgot.
Was it Croatia? Was it the semis?
No,
or was it the
they played
quarterfinals?
Croatia in the final.
Oh, you're right.
It
You're right. I
would
don't know why.
have been- Oh, I forgot what it was, but Mbappe did that thing where he was going to throw it in, and then he threw it out of bounds to someone else to get a new ball, even though that ball was fine.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was against, and it was against a team that I didn't even care about. But to me, that is the biggest sin in soccer, because it shows that you're scared. And they did that study where it's like you lose, I think you can lose 20 minutes of game time, 15 minutes of game time, and then the ref will only add 6 or 7 minutes at the very most at the end of the game. So it really is a successful strategy. I forgot the statistics. I wish I could remember them. But to me, it's not what the game is about. But I noticed Liverpool was doing it in the last game. They were going a little bit slower, walking instead of running. And I was really unhappy with that, because I never want to be the team that wins because they've wasted time. I want to be the better team on the field.
Right. So 2 things, commenting on that. Do you think it has to do with the fact that he's 18?
Of course, his youth plays into it. But then I'm sure he has his manager whispering into his ear.
Well, I honestly think is that, I talking to people. So I knew this kid. I'd known him for a long time. He's younger than me, and he genuinely believed that taking a dive in the box was good strategy. And I'm like, this is how the kids are taught these days, because they look at their heroes, Neymar, Ronaldo, people who flop, and they think I want to be like them because they're the stars. I want to be like them, and they see what they're doing, and so they imitate that, and so they think that flopping is okay, and time wasting is okay. So that's the soccer they grow up watching. So that's what they want to do too. They want to be exactly like him, including the diving. So I think the time wasting thing is just a strategy that everyone does, and I just think everyone does it. But the other thing I wanted to tell you is I kind of conducted my own little, very unofficial little study. I was counting the seconds it takes for someone to take a throw in, and I wanted to know if people really took longer to throw in at the end of the game versus the middle or beginning of the game. So I would just count. The ball goes out of bounds, I start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 8 to 10 seconds. At the end of the game, it's still 8 to 10 seconds.
Really?
I just think the 8 to 10 seconds means more at the end of the game, so the crowd's it feels longer. So I've been doing that lately.
But the Mbappe thing wasn't.
Oh, that was completely different. That's completely different. That's complete. Yeah. In fact, I remember one time Trippier I counted to 18 seconds before he threw a ball in, but it was in the beginning of the game, and nobody said anything to him because he just didn't. There was nobody to throw it to, so he was just looking around. He finally threw a ball in. But, at the end of the game, you take 5 seconds, the crowd's he's time wasting, referee.
That's true.
So, it's something to, I don't know, I just wanted to observe that. So, just keep an eye out next time you watch soccer. Count the seconds, just to see because I only did it for 2 games. So, I want to see if it's a trend, or if it was just, those 2 games. But, it's just for fun.
Yeah, I'll count and I'll write it down. We'll create our own little study.
Yeah. It's not official because I'm counting in my head. It's not I have a stopwatch, but just interesting. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm going to be vastly outnumbered.
Yes, you are. You're going into the enemies. You're going to the lion pit,
Pretty
Mr.
much.
David.
Yeah. So this same fixture last season when you guys came to Wembley, it was me and this other guy, Wesley. We were the only Tottenham fans there.
Oh, yeah.
And so after the first goal, we're like, yeah. And after the second goal, we're like, yeah. And then at 3 and 4, we're like, this is getting awkward because the third goal I kind of wanted to celebrate, but we were getting looks.
Yep.
This is going to be even worse now that the official St. Pete chapter of the Liverpool Supporters Club is housed at the pub.
That's true, but I think you'll have at least 2 more Tottenham supporters.
You think?
Because I saw someone in the group is bringing a Tottenham fan, and then I think the other resident Tottenham fan is going to come as well.
All right.
So you'll have maybe your little section, corner. You
They'll
guys
tape
could
it off.
Yeah. Like have like armed guards,
Right.
protecting you. But I think it'll be okay. It's not a united Liverpool rivalry.
Right.
It's 2 teams that I think respect each other.
I think so. That's also very early, so do you think people show up?
I think so.
You think so?
Apparently for the other early game, the pub was almost full. Yeah, I think it was the Brighton game where the pub almost was full and they had to call extra people in.
Yeah.
Who were not happy about being brought in that early on a Sunday or Saturday morning.
Right. Well, I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm glad soccer's back. I hate the international break.
Me too.
Like 1 month into the season, and then it just throws everything off, and then this is the game that we're coming back to.
Yep. But apparently Liverpool its players have more minutes playing on international duty
You showed me that.
than Tottenham. I think it was 1,094 international duty minutes, and Tottenham has 1,008. And so they're saying that is going to be some big help, or it's the advantage that Tottenham has over Liverpool. But I
That's so
completely
ridiculous.
disagree. Yeah,
Well,
I completely disagree.
Also, some of those minutes that weren't played were by Dele Alli, who was also hurt. So that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to be. I don't think that's going to have as much of an
Right.
impact as the one person who was writing about it thought it would.
Because Alisson didn't play this last game against El Salvador. Firmino didn't play, and who's your new other Brazilian?
Fabinho.
Fabinho. He didn't play either. So you guys should be all right.
Yeah, I think they had the least amount of minutes. Someone played 180 minutes. I forgot who it was. I'm not sure if it was Robertson. I can't remember.
But he's 18. He can handle it.
I
Is
think
he?
He's like 24.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
He just looks really young.
Yeah, he's baby face. He's one of my favorite players for Liverpool right now.
So who? This is something I meant to ask you earlier on. Who's your favorite all-time Liverpool player? All-time that you watched, that you actually watched yourself?
Like when I was actually there?
No. Like just in the time that you've been a fan, not before, not like.
Steven Gerrard. You can't say anyone differently.
You could.
Do you want me to talk about Lallana?
No.
My husband?
No, we don't need to go there. But okay, so yeah, that's a good pick.
Because there was a certain calmness that he brought to the field. He was like a veteran. You felt good when he was on. But he still had the blood for the rivalries, like getting kicked off within 30 seconds on his last game against United.
Yeah.
Like he really, I think, brought the team together. Even though we didn't do well in the last seasons he was with us, it made the whole team feel special because it didn't feel like we were a team of boutique players that we went to the mall and just shopped and got different players to make our team. Gerrard kept the team together because he was the core, he was the heart,
Yeah.
And so it really has been sad not having him. But now I think my favorite player is probably James Milner.
How could you not love James Milner?
You have to, because he has so much heart and he's always playing 110%. He's the oldest guy on the team, yet when he came for the physical at the beginning of the year, he outperformed every single person. And he's just a pleasure to watch. He's attacking every ball, just has infinite amount of energy. But it is scary when he goes down because he doesn't go down for much.
Right.
And so whenever he goes to the ground, you're always worried that you're going to see a bone sticking out of his head. Or
He's got that like steel mill worker body though.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's Frankenstein.
He's just like all muscle. And I would take a James Milner on my team, because you need a worker. That's why I used to love Scott Parker back in the day, because he was one of those old school defensive midfielders that was going to go in on a tackle, and if you broke your leg or he broke his leg, he was still gonna go in, and he didn't flop. And if you flopped, he gestured that you needed to get up.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I love Scotty Parker. He was one of my all-time favorites. So I think every team needs one of those quote-unquote blue-collar guys.
Yeah.
And my only worry with him, like I love watching him too, is he's slow.
Milner?
You remember? Well, the one I will never forget this goal. In the 4-1 game last season when Harry Kane Eriksson chips Lovren, and then Harry Kane plays that perfect ball to Son. You can just, if you watch Son, Milner's covering him, and Son just like leaves him.
Son's fast.
Well, that is true. Son is very fast. But I just remember watching, like, he's not going to catch him. If the ball reaches him, it's lights out. So, but
my only concern with Milner is that if it's free play and he gets in front of the goal, he's not going to score. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's in his head or whatever, but you can almost guarantee he's going to pass the ball when he doesn't need to, or he's just going to miss.
Yeah.
But I did get my confidence up when he took that PK and got it in. So I'm hoping that he got his confidence up too. And so when he has these shots right outside the 18 that he he can put in, I hope that he starts taking them and burying them like he should be.
Yeah. And I like that he's versatile. He can play midfield.
Oh, yeah.
He can play left. What was he playing? Left back or right back?
I think it was left back.
Oh. And he was good. He was good at it. I don't know. So I really like Milner too. I think I would say he's my favorite Liverpool player. I mean, Mo Salah's just so likable.
Yeah, of course. Has a big smile. So is Firmino. The whole team.
Yeah.
Mane is likable when he copies people's.
Yeah, that is the funniest thing. Watching Firmino score and then Sane right behind him, like imitating it. That's just freaking hilarious. When you showed me that video, I died laughing.
It's just hard to not like the Liverpool team these past 2 seasons. I mean, I think Lovren is a little unlikable because he will get in fights on the field, which is unfortunate. But I think almost everyone else, like, you can't get mad at Robertson. You can't get mad at Trent Alexander-Arnold with that boyish smile. You can't get mad at Mane with his huge smile. Firmino's big white pearly teeth.
Right.
Salah, who's just praying all the time and just looks like a good guy.
Right.
Milner's workaholic attitude. Keita, who's quiet but lethal. I think Liverpool is likable more than anything else. And people who aren't even supporters want Liverpool to win if they don't know who the other team is and they don't already support them.
Right. I think it comes down from the manager too, because
of course.
Klopp is just a likable guy. He's so fun to watch on the sidelines too. Just those little celebrations, and then he acts like he's so
Yeah, he tries to act calm too.
Yeah,
that's the best part.
Yeah. So I that's why I think from a long time ago I saw a lot of similarities between our teams. Like, we're both kind of emerging at the same time. We've had a lot of heartbreaks over the last decade. A lot of almost moments.
Yep.
We've been on the fringe and never actually been in, but now we're both in. And it's even better that we kicked Chelsea and Arsenal out. So may it long continue.
Yep.
So, any closing remarks?
No, I think we're all set.
Yeah. So
Except for Liverpool's gonna win on Saturday.
I agree.
I have some confidence, and I feel bad saying it.
Nope. I was telling my other friend, I think I've mentioned him to you before, he's actually from London, and he's a big Liverpool supporter, and I was like, I think you guys are going to win. He's like, no, don't say that. You're going to jinx it. I'm like, well, I hope it's true, and I do jinx it, but I still think you guys are going to win. But anyway, it'll be fun. We always have fun watching games together. So
yes, and we'll still be friends afterwards.
Yeah. We will.
Maybe.
Depends.
To be continued.
To be continued.
How the win or loss or tie goes.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks for joining, and hopefully you'll join next time. And goodbye.
Goodbye.